So today we're going to talk about the frequently asked questions we get for the Urban Strides teacher training qualification, the 10-day level 4 diploma. These are questions that we put together from phone calls, emails, direct messages on social media. So what I thought I'd do is answer them in a video so it's a bit easier, and then hopefully we can answer some of your questions. So we'll start off. One of the biggest questions we get is the teacher training for me? It might be, it might not be. We've actually designed it around 3 different types of people. So if you're a lover of street dance and you enjoy going along, learning street dance, you're inspired by the music, you're passionate about it, you love it, and you love to have a career teaching it, but you don't necessarily have the teaching skills, the course is for you. If you are currently a freelance teacher and maybe you teach street dance, but you realise that maybe you need to know a lot more about foundational knowledge, vocabulary, the music that you should do it to, the individual styles like popping, locking, breaking, hip hop, house, and you want to teach street dance properly and you feel like you're blagging it a bit, then the course will be really helpful for you. It'll also help obviously expand your knowledge so that you're teaching more than just maybe your traditional styles, which is important to make sure that you progress in the future. Because if you don't grow and progress, you'll end up becoming stagnant and your competition will overtake you. The third one is a studio owner. So someone that owns a studio and maybe has some different employees. Maybe you want to do it because you want to know what street dance is so you can employ someone else. Or maybe you want to get back into teaching, you want to do it properly. So we have studio owners as well that have teaching technique. And then the last one is maybe a street dance teacher who only does street dance, is really well versed in street dance culture, history, knowledge, but wants a diploma, a professional diploma, and wants some real educational methods that they haven't learned yet, because maybe they've just become a dancer who's moved into teaching but hasn't had any proper training. And when you're progressing and you want to go into colleges and universities, you need to have a certificate and you need to have a diploma that's government accredited, that's real, that's legit. This will be for you. So it's not for beginners. It's for those 4 types that I said: the passionate street dancer, the freelancer, the studio owner, or the already teaching street dance teacher that wants to improve their skills. One of our teachers was a lady called Caramel, who was amazing. If you don't know Caramel, she's an absolute legend in the UK street dance scene. Learned from Brian Greener, absolute house pioneer to mention. And she decided to do our course because she needed a certificate and a diploma to get into more educational establishments. And she didn't quite realise all the value that she was going to get.
The course exceeded my expectations, double, triple, and more. Like, I learned so much about myself. I learned so much more about how I can have clarity when I'm teaching my students. I learned so many I got so many tools and different skills in regards to how to approach different situations.
So it doesn't matter where you're at, because as you can just see, that you can be on a really high level, but there's always somewhere to improve. We've had 2-time UK popping champions on the course that have got things that have taken away, that have helped revolutionise their teaching. Because you're learning new techniques and new methods, it doesn't matter where you're at, you've always got room to improve. Next question: how do I get my investment back? Several different ways. This is the only course that we're aware of that comes with a money-back guarantee. And the reason that we have a money-back guarantee is because we believe so passionately in what we do. So the money-back guarantee is simple. If after lunchtime on the first day you don't believe that this course is going to be worth at least an extra £5,000 to your yearly income, you let us know and you get your money back. It's really, really simple. And the reason that we have that powerful money-back guarantee is the course costs significantly less than the £5,000. And we believe the value we're going to give is so much more than that. And the reason that we can do that is because we use skills and techniques that work in the real world. At Urban Strides, we created a solid street dance education company that has done a lot of work. We've taught over 2 million people. We've released over 13 different DVDs. We've performed over 150 arena stages, just to give you a little brief idea of what we've done. These things work and we share them with you. So if you're a freelancer, we will share with you how you can put your prices up, how you can work smarter, not harder, how you can maybe do some classes yourself. If you're brand new to teaching, we can show you where you can earn your investment back, by who to approach: colleges, universities, local dance schools, primary schools, secondary schools. We'll show you ways in which you can earn your investment back if you're new to it. If you're already a studio owner, there's an example of one of our graduates called Sue Ashton. Now, Sue is a bit of a legend, and she did really, really well.
Before I started to do the qualification, I did teach around about 10, 15 children street dance. Well, didn't feel too confident, so I learnt about the teacher qualification course at Movie, spoke to Alison, and she recommended that I did the course. So once I did that, it was an intense course, but I've never looked back, absolutely amazing. After I did the course, we've gone from teaching 15 children now, we've got about 70 kids that just do street dance. My confidence has built so much. The teachers that they have at the qualification course have got so much knowledge. You're learning all the different aspects and different styles of street dance. So for me, it's been it's made my business 75% more profit. So I would definitely recommend, if you've got a school or even if you just want to learn more about street dance, to really do this course, because for me it's just been the best thing that I've ever done, and I've been teaching a long, long time. There was nothing like this before, but it's fantastic to me. Thank you.
So as you can see from that, Sue went into our business and marketing lecture, and she learned from our teaching how to increase her numbers in her classes significantly. And she went from 15 to 70. Now, that's a difference of 55. So that's 55 new students. Now, if we base this, right, on the fact that they may only do one class an hour, so these other classes, Sue taught different styles. She taught ballet, tap, jazz, lots of different things. She also teaches different street dance style classes, so these students could come more than 1 week. But let's be negative just for the sake of maths. Let's say they only do 1 hour a week. And let's say they stay for a year as an absolute minimum. As we know, loads of students stay for a lot longer. So the increase in income, let's say the classes, let's be pessimistic. The average price for a UK dance class, would you believe, is actually £10. That's the average. But let's be negative and say it's only £5. 55 times 5 is, 5 times 50 is 250, 5. So that's 275. Check out my GCSE maths. £275 per week. Okay. Now, if you multiply that over a year, most dance schools do 40 weeks out of the year. So that's 275 times 40. This is a little bit harder. My maths is right. Check out the calculator. But that's £275 per week increase from the 55 students over 40 weeks. That's a difference of £11,000 a year. She did that from coming on the course, listening to the sales and marketing, getting off her butt, applying herself, doing what we suggested, and getting the results. Now the thing about that is that's £11,000 in 1 year. Add up all the other years she's going to engage from that, and if she managed to get 55 students in just a matter of months, imagine what she's going to do next year and the year after. So it's exponential. What that means is it's continually growing. So Sue let us know, even within a matter of weeks, how excited she was about the course, because she made her money back in about a month. So hopefully that will help you, give you an understanding of exactly how you can make your investment back. Next question, can't afford it. We get it, times are tough, things are difficult. But here's the thing, you'll never progress unless you invest time, energy and money in what you're doing. When I started, my parents went bankrupt, I had no money. I had to work 3 different jobs just to go and learn from the pioneers of street dance culture, the people that taught Michael Jackson, the Rocksteady Crew, the Electric Boogaloos, Mop Top, Dance Fusion, Elite Force, all these different groups that pioneered the street dance styles. I had to go and learn from them, members of the original Lockers as well. And how did I do it? I had to invest in myself. I had to make sacrifices. So it might be difficult that you can't afford it, but what I would suggest is have a look at what you're spending money on right now. When I first went to go and travel, it cost me nearly £5,000 on my first journey. It cost me a small fortune. And that wasn't even an accredited course. That was just a series of workshops. And I went along and I worked several jobs. I worked in a building site, worked in a restaurant, worked in a nightclub. I used to start at 6 in the morning, finish at 1 at night, and I worked for 7 months straight. I didn't go out, I didn't spend any money. I made sacrifices to make it happen. The other way that you can do it, and I definitely wouldn't recommend this, but you've got to make sacrifices if you're going to progress, as simple as that. Let me just give you a quick example. When I started with nothing, I invested heavily in myself and my time, and that's what helped me. And now I'm on this beautiful carousel, if you like, of positivity. I constantly reinvest my skill set. When I first learned from the pioneers, I came back and people were hearing about my reputation. Because I learned properly, my reputation grew. I could charge more, I could do more, opportunities got better. So it helped me, and I didn't just stop there. I thought about it. I was trying to be intelligent. I was like, wait a minute, if I've invested in myself and I've got this result, what if I invest more? And I still do it now. Even to this day, I'm still training. This year, only a couple of months ago, we had Mr. Wiggles come over and train with us. I had to actually put off the moving of my new house with my pregnant wife. Figure that out. That wasn't fun. Just so that I could train Mr. Wiggles, because I think training is so important. So I practice what I preach. So if you don't think you can afford it, have a think about it like this. If you've got a restaurant, let's just say, and you want to open another one and progress, you need to fit a new kitchen. Now that new kitchen might cost you £70,000, but you know it'll make you money in the long run. So you have to go and borrow. You go to a bank, you go to a partner, you go to somewhere that you can borrow that money. You might borrow it on bank loans, credit cards. You'll do whatever it needs to do to get that, because you know you're going to do it. This is not a spend, this is an investment. And that's the real difference. Now, I don't suggest you necessarily go to borrow money off people, but what I would definitely say is, if you really want to do it, you'll do whatever you need to do to make it happen. I know people that have paid in their deposit that have gone, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to make the rest of it, but I'm focused on it, and they managed to get the rest of the finance. I know one of our students called Nia, who did it a couple of years ago. She put it on a credit card and she said, I'm going to make that back in 6 weeks, and she did. So if you can't afford it, I wouldn't look at what you have right now. I'd be creative about how you can create opportunities, work more hours, get another job, make sacrifices, earn more money, don't spend as much to make it work, because it's not a crazy amount of money. You go to university and it'll cost you £9,000 a year in tuition fees. It will cost you 10 grand just for living costs before you've even started. This is a fraction of that. So it's really not a huge amount to invest in the big scheme of things. It might feel like a lot now, but trust me, in the big scheme of things, it's not a huge amount. And as I said on question number 3, there's many ways you'll get your investment back. 5, what does a typical day look like? Well, you should understand there is no typical day, but they're all fun. So they're all really enjoyable. We normally start with a street dance style, and we do foundational movements. We go through the history, the musicality, what it is, where it's from, who created it. Then after that, we really go into a huge amount of drills and training with movements. So we teach a small number of movements, but we go into a huge amount of depth. Within that, we then create different ways that you can create choreography, how you can break it down to different ages, how you can step it up, how you can develop it for more advanced, how you can break it down for beginners. We'll go into that. We'll have you working in groups with other people on the course, other dancers on the course, other teachers like you, and you get to share different ideas, create many different ideas and ways of creating new choreography. Then what we'll do is we'll go into a lecture or workshop where we're talking about health and safety, best practices, business strategy, sales and marketing, history of street dance, child protection, all of these extra elements that we have, we'll do those as well. So that's what a typical day looks like. And we obviously each day the styles change, the moves change, the different lectures and seminars change. What is the application process? Very simple. You apply online. There'll be a link below this video, so you can do it if you want to do it now, where you follow the process, click on the button, there's a load of information, give as much information as you can, that'll stand you in good stead. After you've filled out your application, if we feel that you've got the right level of experience and understanding, so it's important you be really thorough in what you're putting on, you'll then go through to stage number 2. Stage number 2 is you submit a video of yourself dancing where we can see how your body moves. If we feel that you can learn the amount in 10 days, you'll then come through to the final step, which is a 1-hour interview with us, where we're going to go into a lot of really in-depth questions. We're really going to find out if this is the right fit for you and for us. At the end of the day, our course, you don't just get to pay your money and be on it, you are hand-picked. So we get to make sure that you're going to be able to go through 10 days and you're going to succeed, because ultimately at the moment, for the last 5 years, we've had a 0% fail rate. So we want to keep that, I'm sure so do you. So we want to make sure that you've got a really high chance of succeeding. So that's what the application process is. Application form, application video, telephone interview. I don't think I have enough experience, we get this quite a lot. My advice is, because this is such an intense course, you need skills from all walks of life. We've had people that haven't got as much street dance experience, but they've got a lot of teaching experience. So we know that they can spend a lot more time practicing the dance. We've got other people that have got a lot of dance experience but not as teaching experience. And here's the point, every individual is different. That's how we process your application. So you won't know unless you actually get off your butt and you apply. So don't think about the what ifs, just do it. The worst that's going to happen is we say you're not ready yet. Do you know that's the worst thing? The best thing is we've just saved you spending a lot of time and money and investing some time and money in something that we don't think is going to be right for you right now. But what we will say is do some weekly classes. Come along to Hip Hop Don't Stop, our 3 or 5 day event where you'll get to do some extra training. Will help you to progress. Ultimately, if you raise your hand and say, I want to be a part of this, I want to progress, we'll help you to do that. So my advice, I don't think I have enough experience, is let us judge. After all, we're the ones that are picking. Submit your application and your video and we'll help you to develop in the way in which you need to get the result that you want. What happens if I fail? Well, basically, the floor opens up and you fall through and you get hell. It's pretty major. Jokes. Nothing happens, your face doesn't fall off. First thing I should say is, the reason that we're so picky and who we select, and we have such a rigorous selection procedure, is to make sure that we only get people who we think have got the potential to pass. Obviously, at some point, we're going to have a failure. That is just life, but we do everything that we can do to try and make sure that doesn't happen. We can't guarantee you're passing. Guess what? You've actually got to do the work yourself. Funny that. But what we can do is we can go through this stringent application process so that you stand a good chance. Last year, we had more distinctions than merits, more merits than passes and 0 fails. For the last 5 years, we've had no fails, as I mentioned earlier. But if you do fail, it's not the end of the world. You retake a module for free. That's it. Not that bad, huh? I'm nervous about applying, aren't we all? I really empathise with this. When I first learnt and I went along to the pioneers of the street dance culture, I was nervous. When I go and do anything new, I'm nervous. I think we all are. Anxiety, nervousness, being a bit fearsome about something is the most natural thing in the world. Having that little feeling at the bottom of your gut, totally get it. But here's the thing. If you don't do something, that's always going to eat away at you. And when you get people that are like on their deathbed and they say, what do you regret? They never regret the things that they've done, only the things they haven't done. No one ever says, oh, I did that and I regret it. They always say, I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have done that. So my advice is, don't live in regrets. Go for it. We're all nervous doing everything and we really respect and we really empathise and understand about that. So go for it. And if you're not ready and we'll let you know and we'll show you other opportunities. But if you don't actually get up and do it, you won't move forward. That's the reality of it. And I hope you don't think I'm being harsh. I'm just being real. Life rewards those who take action, that are bold, that go for stuff. So if you're nervous about applying, I get it, we all do. But if you don't apply, nothing will happen. So the trick is not to be nervous or pretend not to be nervous. That's going to happen. But it's to understand the nerves and do it anyway. So as you're applying, you might be really nervous and shaking and worried. And when you click submit, but then you would have felt great because you've done it. So I would do the reverse psychology and say, think about how excited you'd feel once you pressed send. Because then you take an action. Pressing that enter button, clicking that mouse, tapping your phone, they are all moments that you've taken action and you know you're moving your life forward. What are the exams like? Totes fun. The exams are 85 to 90% practical. When we created the course, we completely changed how a lot of exams and teacher training are done. There was a lot of essays, we changed all that. My personal belief is you can be an amazing teacher with great energy, great musicality, but ultimately you might not be the best at writing essays. And let's face it, when you're teaching a class, when you're going to write an essay for them anyway. So there are some elements of writing. You need to do lesson plans, but we take you through those step by step. But that's all you need to do. Everything else is teaching, it's practical, or it's performing, all things that you love to do. The other parts of it, like health and safety, safe dance teacher practice, special educational needs, all those are done sat in a circle. So we're in a circle reinforcing street dance culture, and it's not written down on a multiple choice questionnaire. You're asked questions by the examiner. So you get to live it like you would in real life. So we decided to create the exam assessment that reinforces what the whole training course is about, which is all about street dance culture and the joy of embracing and vibing with others. I'll give you another example, the performance part. In every teaching exam, you need to do a performance. I remember when I was a little kid, I did my tap exam and I had to go into this scary room and their person was like, do your set routine. And I did my little set routine, my concentration tongue out, and I ended up getting highly commended. But the point was, I did that and it was a really scary experience. I remember it still now and I'm a lot older than 8. So what we did is we changed it. So in the performance part of it, you'll have other people that did the course with you, surrounding you, who are your family after 10 days, cheering on and supporting you. So when you perform in front of the examiners, you're amongst family and friends that are loving you, that are supporting you, that are all there for you. So what are the exams like? like nothing else you've ever experienced, whether you've done a teacher training course or a dance exam, it's brand new. So it's like nothing you've ever done. It's a lot of fun, and more importantly, it reinforces what life's going to be like afterwards, and it reinforces what street dance culture is really all about. A couple more. How'd you do it in 10 days? Wow, I've actually done a whole nother video on this. Basically, we use unique teaching methods like the 3-step foundation formula, accelerated immersion training, the real method, communication details of internal and external states. If these don't mean anything to you, don't worry about it. I'm just using it to illustrate what are the different unique techniques that we use. These techniques you can't find anywhere else. They're only on our course. We also get them taught by exceptional teachers who just being around them is an education in itself. And we do it by choosing the right people. So our application process is so stringent. We can't take you from a complete beginner to a teacher in 10 days. That's not possible. But we can take you from a 3 or 4 out of 10, or maybe even a 5 out of 10, and make you a 7, 8, or a 9 out of 10. So you have to be at a certain level. So the application process is really important. But you then go through an experience that you've never had before with so many unique methods and teacher training techniques and new dance techniques. Too many to go into in depth here. As I said, I've got another video on it. But rest assured, we can do it in 10 days because the last 5 years we've had 0 fails. And so far, at the moment, we've got more than 100 qualified teachers. So you'll experience it when you do it using these unique methods. But without going to it in major depth, that's how we do it. Unique teaching methods, brand new methods, taught by exceptional teachers. And you working your butt off. That's another important part. Is the course accredited? Yes. And do you get letters after your name? Yes. You can put DIP, which stands for Diploma, and it's a level 4, which is the equivalent of the first year of a degree. And the last one is payment plan. So, as I said before, we made it massively affordable. It's a fraction of the cost of alternatives. So what we do as well to help you out is that once you go through the application process, and if we decide to select you, the course is in August. So depending on where throughout the year you apply, you'll need to pay a proportion of that as a deposit, which is non-refundable. And then after that, you've got the rest of the time to get the rest of your funds in. So depending how close it is to August will depend how much you need to get in. My advice is to go onto the application page where you'll get to see the dates of the course, and you will actually get to see how much you have to put together. All the details are there. The application button is at the bottom of this video. So is there a payment plan available? Yes, there is, depending on when you apply. All the details are on the button. And that's it, we nailed it. FAQs, that was louder than I thought. FAQs done. If you want to apply for a course and you're excited about it, click on the button below and let's get you started.